Hi, this is Ron Kelly, Public Information Officer for the Walton County Commission, with this week's meeting summary. On March 26th, the Walton County Board of County Commissioners held their second regular meeting of the month at the boardroom in the Freeport Commons Business Complex on Highway 20. Items approved by general consent include authorization for Commissioner Dan Curry's attendance at the NACO conference in Washington, D.C., in accordance with the travel policy. Rebecca Bryan was designated as the 911 coordinator for the county. The BCC also approved authorizing the E911 grant agreement and extending the current grant period from March 24 to the end of the year, as requested by the Walton County Sheriff's Office. Commissioners approved selling surplus equipment from mosquito control, landfill, and tourism departments as listed in the agenda attachment, and to transfer some equipment from tourism beach operations to public works. The BCC authorized Board Chair Donna Johns to sign renewal number 1 of the Service of Process Child Support Enforcement Funding Agreement with the Florida Department of Revenue. The Commissioners approved a proposed speed zone reduction in Santa Rosa Beach on Indian Woman Road from 35 miles an hour down to 25. The BCC authorized the chair to sign a task order for design services for the Mac Bayou and Sandestin Lane Connector Road with Hanson Professional Services in an amount not to exceed $368,214. The connector road will be located behind Ascension Sacred Heart Emerald Coast Hospital in Santa Rosa Beach. It will allow the public to access commercial stores west of the hospital from Mac Bayou Road without having to enter the hospital parking lot or travel on the US 98 for one block. The BCC authorized Chair Johns to sign the property damage release for a claim involving a vehicle that had been totaled in an accident. Chair Johns also signed a license and hold harmless agreement and waiver of claims with Watersound Town Center and the St. Joe Company for bookmobile stops starting May 6th and extending through April 28, 2026. The BCC also authorized Library Director Katie Cerise to sign and submit the City of Definiak Springs Special Events Permit applications for the Walton County Public Library System's library programs. The board authorized the chair to sign a resolution abandoning a portion of an easement recorded in Walton County Official Records Book 701, page 85. County Administrator Stan Sunday requested BCC confirmation of Terry Franksman, who was recently hired as the new Department Director of the county's Human Resources Department. Although confirmation is not required by state law, the Commissioners had approved confirmation of department directors on other occasions. The motion to approve the confirmation was split 2-2 due to the absence of Commissioner Tony Anderson. No further action was taken, and Franksman is continuing in his role as Director of HR. The BCC approved the Master Services Agreement with West Coast Tower Holdings for the design and construction of the radio tower infrastructure portion of the P25 radio system project as requested by the Walton County Sheriff's Office. The BCC awarded a bid to C.W. Roberts in an amount not to exceed $2,283,819 for the construction of the South Walton Multi-Use Trail Project. This is Phase 1 of the Mac Bayou Pedestrian Improvements Plan. The board approved the construction contract too. The BCC approved signing a change order for professional engineering services for irrigation well design for the Legion Park improvements. The amount is $2,750. BCC Vice Chair Dan Curry asked the board to schedule a public workshop to discuss the Walton County Land Development Code, specifically regarding the Neighborhood Planning Ordinance. A public workshop date will be scheduled soon and advertised. There was discussion regarding a possible emergency ordinance prohibiting Class 1 landfills in the Rock Hill area. There was significant public opposition to the landfill, and following discussion, the BCC agreed to impose a 60-day moratorium on any type of extractive use or placement of material in the ground within 2 miles of any water wells. The Commission also directed staff to bring back an ordinance for consideration that will govern this issue. Due to the large number of residents that attended the meeting, BCC staff compiled a distribution list to inform citizens on the status of the ordinance and public hearings on the matter. District 3 Commissioner Brad Drake asked his fellow commissioners to approve a resolution to voluntarily work with the state EOG DOJ team for internal audits and efficiencies. The Florida State Department of Governmental Efficiency Task Force will look into local government expenditures by utilizing publicly available county and municipal spending records to, quote, expose bloat within local governments, end quote. The measure was approved, with Chief Financial Officer Melissa Thomason being named the point of contact in the resolution. It was stated at the meeting that Walton may be the first Florida county to formally take this action. BCC Chair Donna Johns led a discussion about whether to keep Walton Dunes designated as a neighborhood beach access or change it to a regional beach access. After significant discussion, the BCC decided to bring the issue back at a later date. Regarding a potential senior center in District 4, the county is still looking for a suitable location. The next regular meeting of the Walton County Commission is scheduled for Tuesday, April 8th at 1 p.m. in the boardroom of the Walton County Courthouse in Defeniak Springs. The public is invited to attend.